entering the studios of Creative Conversations with Dr. C. You are entering the studios of Creative Conversations with Dr. C.
Well, welcome. It's another edition on deck with Creative Conversations with Dr. C. Want to just thank you for joining in tonight. We have a phenomenal conversation tonight with a phenomenal queen. I met this queen through one of my authors, Paul Posey, and I am so delighted to have her on tonight to talk about turning her pain into purpose. Miss Lady Venessa. It's just going to be an enlightening conversation. So sit back, relax, and just take in what this conversation is going to be about tonight. I think we're going to get some really good nuggets from Lady Venessa tonight. So with further ado, I'm going to bring on Miss Lady Venessa. Well, hello, Queen. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I am doing wonderfully well. I was just telling the audience that I am so thrilled to finally get the opportunity to actually put a face to a name. We've talked on the phone a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So, Queen, it's just a pleasure to be able to see your beautiful
Thank
face
you. Thank
tonight.
you so much. Thank you. Likewise. Thank you. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Oh, no, trust me, it's an honor to have you. I've heard so many wonderful things about you, and just being able to have the opportunity to sit down with you and talk to you about what does it mean to you turning your pain into purpose. I've had the opportunity to look at some things as far as books are concerned, and I see that you are an author as well, which it touches not a nerve, but it just makes me feel good because I'm an author as well too. So we're gonna talk about some books tonight, but I want you to just give the audience a little bit background on you, and then we'll get into the conversation.
Sure. Thank you again, Dr. C. Thank you so much for having me. It means a lot. So thank you for the accolades and the love. And I'm sending love and light right back to you, and
Thank you.
peace and
Thank you.
abundance.
Yes.
You know, that's a loaded question. Little girl from Gary, Indiana.
Shouts out to Gary.
GI,
Yeah.
GI,
I know
house,
about that GI. Yes, ma'am.
Street, 4642219. And
Oh,
Paul lived up in the next block from me.
yeah.
So we grew up together, and God brought our paths together, and here we are today, and that's what led to you in this interview that I'm grateful for. But we're from Indiana. Have challenges, took the wrong roads. Right is right here, all in my face. But I go
Mhm,
right over here,
mhm.
and have to, for every action, there's a reaction. And
Yes.
those are things that I'm learning by way of my pain of being. My daddy used to always say when I was a teen and coming up, "Why are you so rebellious?" I didn't really know what that meant until now. I'm like, I see.
Mhm.
Tell me to stay over here in this lane because you done already been in it, and you don't want
Yeah.
me to experience what you experienced. And I didn't get that then. One thing that I learned throughout my journey, especially these past 2 years, is that you don't know. I don't know. Talk about me. I don't know what I don't know until Dr. C. I don't know.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's when the bottom fall out. And if the bottom has to fall out, it has to. And now I got to my work and fight my way up,
Yeah.
my way of tools and resources. I attempted several times. I'm a survivor, and but God still has a purpose for me, and I'm so grateful.
Yes. And that in itself, Lady Vanessa, is I've had this conversation with several of my coworkers, and I keep standing on the fact that we all always have this thing about I'm going to have this New Year resolution. And I think we need to redefine what resolution is. So I've told people since beginning of December of last year, my purpose this year in 2024 is to change that narrative to say it's not a resolution, it's a redirection of us redirecting the things that we need to do, repurposing the things that we need to do, realigning the things that we need to do to align with our purpose and our ultimate goals. So in that frame of mind, not knowing is to be humble to say I don't know, but I'm reaching out for the help. Please extend the olive branch to help me. So allowing ourselves to be able to be humbled enough to say I don't know, please help me. And sometimes we have to fall down, but in falling down, it's the act of getting back up and how we make things different from that point on. So I was just eager as I was looking at your catalog of books, and I see that you have a series of books that's entitled the what is it called? The Voice Behind.
Mental
And
illness.
yes, and mental health and mental illness. And I am a big component of about mental health and about making sure that we check in and making sure that our people are good, especially now since we're in this inception of the fifth year of COVID. So, um, again, these books, tell the audience what these books are about. We know we said mental health, and I believe the gentleman on the back is your brother, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. So tell the audience about that and how that entwined with what you're doing now as the founder of SDP3.
Yes, ma'am. And SDP3 stands for Self Discovery, Pain, Positioning, and Purpose Incorporated. We are on a mission to eradicate suicide, to curb substance misuse, abuse, um, and provide some post traumatic growth knowledge and recovery knowledge that comes in so many layers
Mm,
from Head Start to preschool, to uh, kindergarten, to levels like that, because we really think we know, and when the tough gets going, the majority of us don't. And
yeah.
because we don't know, and according to how we were raised, and our adverse childhood experiences, our ACEs, the things that traumatized us as children that carried over to who we are today,
Yes.
um, and learning how to chunk the bit, chunk the pieces of the iceberg to get all the way down up under that water where we can't see what's really going on. We see this, and this, but up under there, you got a whole lot going on because we all do.
We all do.
We all
We,
do, and that is what squeezes. It's like a Coke that you put in
mm,
the freezer and you leave it in there too long, or you have a soda and you put it in there just for a few minutes and you open it up and pop, it's gonna
exactly.
explode, and that's how we are. And the
Hmm.
explosion comes out in our behaviors.
Yeah.
It's so much. Oh, I had a conversation. It's been a really great day of wisdoms and learning from people, that strangers that I don't even know, that was talking to me today about life and how many good people there still is out here.
Yes.
You know,
I agree. I totally agree with that. Totally agree.
yeah, not everybody is not good and evil, but
Mm,
they're there. They are there. Yes,
mhm.
they are. So, all of that, my organization had been going on before my brother passed, but it was an LLC and I had my name in it. So, um, after he passed is when things shifted to a nonprofit and um, becoming, having my EIN and doing all the things that I can to learn more about my mental health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because I can't help you if I don't know.
me.
For
That is
me,
a metaphor. Oh my
and for
goodness.
me, I want to help somebody. I want to be able to touch you. I want to be able to do something. But if I can't, I'm about to go find somebody that can. And I'm gonna stay
Yeah,
right here with you until they give me.
exactly.
That's the type of heart and love that I have. For
Mm-hmm.
people, everybody's not like that. And we have to really be discerning with that, because those that are out here doing the damage and doing the things, robbing, and, we were talking about that earlier, how people are just preying on people, following them and carjacking and all that. I say all of that to say that, how short life is, and we come into these traumatic events that may
Mm-hmm.
trigger something that happened to us when we were a kid, and boom,
It's a
boom, there,
dungeon.
there goes the bottle, or there goes the volcano. You know,
I,
um,
it's interesting because the analogy that you just put on the spin, I was just talking to somebody about how we have to unmask so many things. And it's like an onion. We have to pull back the layers, right?
hmm hmm
So you don't some people don't know how to recognize when they need help, right? And sometimes you have to have the accountability partner that says, hey, you know what? I've seen some things in you, and I'm concerned about you, and I want to make sure that you're okay. And so I think there is good people out here who are willing to be that counterpart for someone else. And I think there are, like you said, there are good people still out here who are willing to step into the gap for somebody. And it's not about them. It's about making sure they're safeguarding the other person. So kudos to you and having the wisdom to be able to say, I know that I need to do something else. I've gone through this period of trauma. I've peeled back the layers. And now, even through my pain, I'm still going to be able to help somebody else. Some people are selfish and don't think along those lines. So I am so grateful that you had the fortitude to say, you know what, even though I'm standing in my pain, I'm going to still be able to be a link to somebody else. So thank you for that.
You're
Um,
very
so
welcome. Thank you for acknowledging that. Thank you.
and,
Thank you
and
so much.
a lot of times we don't even talk about it, that big stigma about black families, that stigma that says that whatever happens in the household stays in the household. And I really want to eradicate that stigma, because the things that are happening in the house, we need to open up the doors. We need to open up the windows. We need to take off the roof of the house so people can get that ability to be able to talk. There's no reason for people to suffer in silence. And we need to let people know that it's okay not to be okay, to be able to seek the help. And so your foundation and your non-for-profit is allowing people to be able to do that. And I'm so grateful for that, to see that,
Thank you.
and to see a sister at the helm of that is
Thank
is is, is amazing. We want to be able to showcase you and showcase what you're doing, and allowing people to see that collaboration. I did a podcast last week about collaboration, um, over competition, and allowing people to see the goodness in us as colored women, that we can still sit at the table together and not pull out each other's hair, right? There's room at the
you.
table for all of us. So kudos to you, Queen, for allowing us to be able to see you and give you your roses while you're here.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you
so
so much. It means so much. You said a mouthful, so I cannot not say thank you,
you're
wholeheartedly.
so
Because you don't know how that just hit.
Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes we have to say it. And I tell
Yeah.
people, it doesn't take anything away from you as an individual, as a woman. You just see the goodness in somebody else and just want to be in their circle to pull from that light and be able to shine on your own level. Doesn't take anything away from me by me saying that to you. It's just letting you know that I appreciate what you're doing. And we need to continue to do that. We need to continue to uplift our sisters and our brothers when they're down. We don't need to step on them. And so
hmm
truly grateful for the connection that Paul gave me to be able to reach out to you. Like I said, we had the opportunity to talk, and we talked
Mhm.
for a good little while. And life, as my son says, Mom, is life is lifing. Okay. And so life is life, and then things happen, and it comes at a time when we're not expecting it, but it comes right on time. So when, even though we set it up and things happen, it happened for right now for a reason. So
Sure.
I thank you for, again, taking the invitation and being able to come on and tell us your story. So tell us a little bit
Awesome.
about the book, the voice behind mental health. I thought I saw series of five, or is there
Yes, there are
more?
a series of five. I believe my brain, I think it's a series of five. I don't think I have a sixth. But
Okay.
in addition to that, if I may um, say that we have evidence-based trauma-informed curriculum that we teach from for faith-based organizations, first responders,
Mm-hmm.
for youth, for adults. So we have that as well that we teach when I say we, me and the good Lord and my angels and my partners, or whomever is partnering with me for the day. But
Mm-hmm.
teaching from those brings a lot of light, especially in the faith community where a lot of African Americans are, and culture is such a big thing in mental health. And I really didn't understand that until a few years ago. That
Mm-hmm.
different cultures, you know, many of them they don't believe in mental health, period. But
Period.
I just say all of that to say, you
Mhm.
know, that it's just been a privilege being able to reach someone else by way of my pain. And
Mhm.
there's times I've gave up. I threw the red flag in. I threw it in. I
Mhm.
was done.
Mhm.
But he said, I'm not done. He said, no, no,
Mhm.
no, no. So here I
Mhm.
am today, still on the front lines on the battlefield.
Mhm.
If God will continue to give me all that I need to finish my course in this
Mhm.
race, in this life, which I know is to love the community and love my, kingdom and
Mhm.
be a kingdom builder, which means in that kingdom building, there's generational wealth, not generational curses on this
Perfect.
along this line. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? I'm creating some generational legacy,
Yeah.
generational legacy, and that generational wealth comes in the form of many different abundances, whether it's
Mhm.
a college degree, whether it's your house, so I'm just, man, I just want, when I leave, I just want somebody to say, this is what and how she treated me and what she did for me. And it's
You
not about what they do for me, but it's my heart. My heart's so big. I will give. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll get ready for this, and then I got a call that I needed to take that,
Yeah.
which was a crisis at one time
Mhm.
yesterday and earlier today. But I told her I would call her back, and she's okay. But I just say all of that to say I'm talking about what I'm. This is what I do, and I
That's
have
what
a
you do.
heart. My heart is so. I'm so passionate about it
Mhm.
until I have to pray to take me out the way because I'll carry the burden and the weight because I don't like to see people hurt like that.
Yes. We
And then
want
I
to
say it
we
to
want to
her.
take all that on for ourselves. We want to take that pain. And I think that's where it comes in, that we take so much on. And then when we get to that breaking point, we like, I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep moving. But again, we are standing in our purpose. Ooh, when you stand in your purpose, you don't get tired. You know what I'm saying? You're running this race because it's not about me. It's about somebody else. Somebody
Mhm.
else needs me. Because I was listening to Dietrich Haddon, and then the song says, "Well done." When you leave away from here, you want somebody to say, "Well done."
Yes, yes,
Well done for the things that you
that
have
part.
done. And it's not about giving myself kudos on the back or clap on the back. It's about the people I've touched. And if you touched enough people, you're going to know that you've done well done. You've done it. And there's no need for anything else because it's already said and done. And so, like I said, I can't give you enough kudos because we need to have these conversations readily available, for people to see that. I think that the stereotypical part of it is, why do I want to go into, and I've had this conversation with somebody else, why do I want to go to a church front? and seek mental health. I've had those conversations. I'm like, well, why not? It can't help, right? You're not doing anything now, so why not? So do you find in your walk and what you're doing now the pushback to have those conversations, and it's faith driven conversations around mental health? Because we know a lot of religions, a lot of backgrounds don't believe in it. So what have you seen in your walk with what you're doing, um, with the people that you're in contact with?
All of what you just said, actually, and that's the stigma. That is the stigma. That is the root and the cause that has created this big, massive mental illness or mental health um, state of emergency,
Yeah, yeah.
simply because of that. And you know, as I said earlier, when I don't know, I don't know. There are so many of us that look like you and me. They
Mm-hmm.
really don't know. Some of
Mm-hmm.
them do know and they don't do it, but there are some people really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, um, that we were talking about that stigma. That's a piece of the stigma. You gonna judge me. I'm looking for a book, but I can't find one. You gonna judge me by this cover of the book, and you ain't
Mm-hmm.
even crack the page.
And you have no idea.
You ain't even seen the table. I mean, excuse me for my ebonics.
It's
You
okay. It's
haven't
okay.
you
It's
haven't
real. This is
seen you haven't seen the table of contents. You ain't even saw that. So how you gonna judge me? You
okay.
can't. You
Mm-hmm.
can't
Mm-hmm.
because you're not me and I'm not you. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
walk my journey. I've learned, the doctor see, I gotta walk my journey and my journey only,
Mm-hmm.
simply because that's what I was born for, and
Yeah,
nobody can beat me at doing
there you go.
it. So
That's
why
that,
not keep
that's that
sharpening
Gary
that
in you.
tool?
That's that Gary in you.
Yeah, man. That's that. My mama name was Laverne. That's the Laverne coming out, but she was a
All right.
beast. She
Yeah.
was a beast around, the community and
Mm-hmm.
making things happen in the community. But yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's just stepping in purpose. You continue to step in the purpose that you were already under. God had already said it before you came out of your mom's womb. This is what your path is supposed to be. And I think people don't realize that you go through certain things because it's going to either break you or make you. So which lane you want to be in? Are you in the fast lane and can't keep up? Or are you in the middle lane? Just I'm going with the flow. Or if I'm over way to the right in the slow lane, just taking my pace because I know I'm gonna get there, but not as fast as the far right lane. So which lane are you gonna be in? So it's either gonna make you or break you. And so I think people have to realize everybody doesn't have the same journey and don't have to get to the finish line at the same time. And so I think people need to understand that piece of it before they know anything else.
And that reminds me of, sorry for interjecting, um, the word says that the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but to
Mhm.
those that would endure to the end. So I'm not in competition with you, nobody.
Yeah.
In competition with the person I see in the mirror
Every day,
every
every
day,
day, every day.
all throughout the day, every step of my way.
Yeah. And I think
I'm
that's the big
wasting time, and people need to understand you're wasting time being jealous.
out.
What are you
Oh,
getting out of that? It's evil. It's evil. It's evil energy. There's nothing good in that. It's
yeah.
rooted in something else. And then just blow.
It just messy, totally messy, totally
Yeah,
messy.
yeah.
And so I think a lot of that has to do with, as you said, educating people and also meeting them where they are.
Mhm.
Sometimes we have to meet them where they are. Sometimes we have to get off the porch and walk down the stairs and grab them by their hand. Sometimes we have to do that. And even though people don't want that, but they're too steadfast in not asking for it. So we have to meet them where they are. And it sounds like with what you just mentioned, the crisis that you had yesterday and making sure that you reach out to that person, you're meeting them where they are, whether it be via the phone or via in a storefront or at a church home, wherever it is. We have to meet people where they are. And I think it's so important that people understand that piece of it. I'm not expecting you to do X, Y, and Z when I know you can't do it. because I've been in the same shoes and I know what that looks like. So why would I, downgrade you and make you feel even worse when you're asking for help? So I got to meet you where you are. So with your program, how many people have you actually, can you put a number on it, have actually gone through these courses that you were just speaking about? And is there any coming up that people can actually um, register for?
Yes, it is. Before I do introduce that, I'm just looking for my flyer. I want to say, in addition to what you just said, um, I just lost my train of thought. So
Uh-huh.
okay, it'll come back. But we do have some events that are coming up. We have one of my events I'll be having is with um, a community rehabilitation center for women, and
Mhm.
at Mary Hall Freedom House, where I will be having an event for them around the love languages for self-love. Self-love. I also have mental health first aid that's coming up that usually comes with a cost. And
Mhm.
in February 13th, it's adult mental health first aid, which is virtual.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
then March 12th, youth mental health first aid, which also is virtual. Is virtual. The way you sign up for it is you go to www.sdp3.org and you can register for the course. But these are some of the resources and things that I have, my learnings, and I'm continuing to learn, and that's important too, is to
Mhm.
learn as much as you can.
Yeah.
Um, okay, here's the thought. Thank you, Jesus. Meeting the people where they are means that, number one, that we too must be humble. We too must go in without shame nor blame. We too must go in, remembering the log in our own eye and how it could have and should have been me that I'm assisting, and just being humble and
Mhm.
providing love and service to someone else that can give them another chance at life. Now, if they go and relapse, okay, boom. This is some of the main things that I teach relapse prevention is come on back. Don't be
Mhm.
ashamed. I done
Mhm.
been there. Don't be ashamed. Who
Mhm.
cares? And I'm at the point now. Who cares what they
Right,
say?
exactly. Take that shame
Yeah.
off the
People
mask.
gonna people gonna talk. No, 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 no. And understanding at the same time that they too, those people have issues. We all have issues.
Issues.
So when we get that in our in our mind and our spirit, maybe the judgment will stop and we can come alongside each other and lock arms and, hey, I got your back and I don't want nothing from you. I just need you to make it and just don't forget about me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think people, this the stigma is that nobody falls. Everybody's always straight up prone. Nobody's never laying down. Nobody's got their back against the wall. Nobody has done. Everybody has some skeletons in the closet. Everybody has relapsed. Everybody has done things that they're not proud of. Everybody has done something. So how can you judge me? And I think that's the great piece of it. So people can understand, even if you fall, you can still get back up. You still can get back up, but that it's the encouragement and the, again, the accountability partner to be able to say, I see you, and I see you, and I love you, and I want you to get better, but I need you to know that you love yourself enough to want to take the step. My hand is out to you. And so I'm just really grateful to hear that there's still virtual things that are out there for people, because we still are living in COVID. It's
Yeah.
still happening. I work in
And
healthcare.
not to mention, I just got over COVID.
You
So
see,
yeah.
I work in healthcare, so I see it every day, like every day I see it. So people need to still be mindful
Hmm.
that COVID is still out here, and still protect yourself, so that you're protecting yourself, but also protecting the people that are around you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's important. So the virtual piece is amazing. Now I know you're out of Georgia, so are all these things that you're doing, are they all rooted in Georgia, or are you
Hmm.
doing
Oh, right
things
now, yeah, we,
right
we do things outside of country, and since COVID been around, we've been
now? Lockdown?
going anywhere, yeah. And then
Yeah.
with so much unrest everywhere, No, we
Yeah,
have to go. You have to go and research the
before you
country you're going to before you go to
go.
see if they got a lockdown because of wars. And I was looking at some things the other day, for different countries that are in the no-fly zones to don't go visit
Mhm.
because human trafficking is bad,
Yeah,
murders. All, I said, wow. So I mean,
honestly,
we really do have to be very careful,
uh,
but doing our best not to live in fear,
yeah, you can't.
but live in faith and common. Well, because sometimes common sense ain't common for everybody, but
Exactly.
having that common sense to know, what you're discerning, should you do or should you not,
Uh,
and following that feeling.
I agree. Totally agree with that because at the end of the day, we just want to be able to spread the message and be able to reach as many people as we can. And if we can find different platforms to do so, then that's even better because people need to hear the message and hear it in a language that they understand. Because I always tell people as a teacher, I always tell people you have to be able to understand the different learning curves and the learning abilities of the audience that you're teaching. So it's great to be able to have different platforms, but also give it to them in the way that they understand it. So again, I'm just in awe just being able to talk to you and being able to hear your story. Um,
And
so I've heard you say about the it's almost like an affirmation kind of thing for people to affirm who they are. And I just did a book about a love letter to me, affirmation about affirming who you are and your existence in the world. In your teachings, in your classes, how do you build them up? What do you tell them to affirm who they are in their existence and let them know that they mean something to the world, that they bring so much to the world, they bring something to the table to be able to sit down and say, this is my story and I want to give to you. So what do you do in these classes that you teach the youths and the adults how to about affirming who they are?
that's a very good question. I start by stating the truth and letting people know to keep it 100 with yourself.
Mhm.
To thine own self, be true. Period.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's where it starts. And then we can start peeling back the layer of the onion, and then
Mhm.
going back to childhood, where issues. That's where the issues started, and we never got. We medicated it with drugs or substances or sex or whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
trauma, and boom, we didn't hit a wall, and we're trying to figure out why am I this way,
Mhm.
and why I can't keep a decent relationship or a good job or be independent and being codependent on somebody else. It's because of our childhood experiences
Mhm.
that we never dealt with. For me, these are things that I'm learning still today, and I know I'm going to learn until I take my last breath. But it's a blessing as well because I ask for wisdom because I don't want to be like that. I've learned that the parents did the best they could with what they had.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when I'm also learning that when I know better, then it's time for you to go to the next level up and do better.
Yeah, and
And
that's that part.
that's the work. That's the work side. And
Mhm.
people don't like doing the work, but
Yeah, they
it's
just want it
work.
easy. They want it to be given to them and don't take the steps to be really able to say, I achieved this. I worked myself off to get this where I'm at. And I
Mhm.
always tell people 2024 is not this is not the season to be stagnant. There's no reason to be stagnant. You have to keep moving. You got to keep moving because if you are not learning, you're stagnant. You have to have some way of being able to say, I've learned something because you get so mundane in that same cycle and it becomes, oh, well, whatever. So 2024 is not, it's, there's no room for being stagnant. You have to want to keep moving and what your purpose is. And I'm driven in that every day. Every day at 6:15, I get up, I say my prayers, and I affirm who I am. And I tell people, it might sound vain to you, but I tell myself I'm beautiful. I
That's
say
it.
I'm gorgeous. I say,
That's
look,
it. That's
I'm
it.
who I am. I'm
Mhm.
not perfect, but I'm gonna start my day saying that, I'm giving giving praise to God for allowing me to see another day, because my story could have been different. I could have fell asleep and didn't wake up, but I give him glory because he allowed me to see another day. He allowed me to continue to step into my purpose and be able to touch one person, if it's just that one person. But I say it every morning. I'm beautiful. I'm gorgeous. Yep. I maybe at 6:15, I'm doing real good, but I'm not perfect. But maybe by 10 o'clock, I might be to the left, but I'm not perfect. I'm still human.
Come on through here.
But I
Come on.
understand that.
Tell the
I
truth.
understand that. I understand the truth is that some days it's not going to be roses, and it's not. But we
And
have
that's if I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's what I'm saying right there. To your own self, be true, and see how you being true with yourself. Can't nobody be as true to us as we can be true to ourselves, because nobody knows us outside of us besides our Creator. So if
yes.
I'm wasting my time over here in this foolishness of pouring into this person, and I'm declining and decreasing and dumbing down, no ma'am, no sir,
You don't get
no.
the opportunity. I think a lot of times you don't get the opportunity to continue to step over me. We're going to walk together.
Mm.
You're not stepping over me. You're not stepping on me. We're going to stand up and we're going to walk together. So in that moment, you have to understand your worth. What are you worth? Are you worth to continue to be stepped on, stepped over? What is it that you're trying to do? So that's why I say 2024 is no reason to be stagnant. You have to want to learn. You have to want to get up and put in the work to be able to see the next day, to see what you have, can look back and say, oh, that was a long road, but I made it up here. So we have to continue to increase the awareness of how we get there. And I always tell people, some people are so selfish. And I told this to a young lady about a couple weeks ago. I said the most important information and resources that we have are in the grave, because people are not willing to give up the knowledge. We are really being a disservice to the next generation of people that are behind us, because we are too selfish to want to give that information. So it's like I said, it's a refreshing to be able to stand in the truth and give it to somebody else and allow them to take their pieces of it and grow and put the puzzles and pieces to their story, because everybody has a story, and who better to tell it but themselves.
Yeah.
And so this here, what you're doing is phenomenal. It's truly phenomenal, because I think we need to continue to peel back the layers of the onions, peel back that stigma that we don't need no help. Yes, we do. I some days I might feel like I'm crazy. I think my kids say the same thing. Mom, what's wrong with you? Is you crazy? Yep, today I'm crazy, and I'm telling you I am. So give me a minute, and I'm gonna come back. But I'm being true to myself, and I think giving them the resources and the know-how to be able to do it is amazing. It's amazing. So what else do you have coming down the pipeline other than these virtual classes? Are you looking to
If
do?
I can interject on what you just said,
Sure.
with them coming forth and asking for the information, again, it all goes back to being sick and tired of being sick and tired, and understanding that what I've been trying all these years, that hasn't gotten me to the level that I know I have a higher purpose. So let me try something different. And in doing so, that's when, our gifts begin to make room for us. And it's levels. And each
Mhm,
level, it becomes more difficult, and that's when we're stretched. And that
mhm,
stretching, is a great thing to endure it. I say it hurts so good. God knows I do not like pain, but He's built me for it.
mhm,
He's built me for it. And I just realized this maybe within the last year, 18 months. He's built me for it, because things I go through. Oh my
mhm.
God. But I say that to say there's always somebody else going through worse. So that I'm thinking where I am. I'm not all that I should be. I'm not what I used to be, but every day I'm not
Oh,
pressed to where God is calling
what I
me to
look like
be. And
before.
if that means I got to be in my valley, I'm not alone.
Mhm,
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the Like that
Yes. Yes.
generation.
Yes.
Psalms 3.
Yeah, and I think and having the ability have people that are surrounding you who are like-minded and see the vision that you're trying to come to, and for people to see that is amazing, because it's one thing to have people who are with you and those who are naysayers, right? So it's always good to have people who are in your circle, as you call them, your angels, who are surrounding you and ensuring that when you fall, that you're not falling on the ground, that you're actually falling in their arms. And so that's the most important piece of it. And so I think a lot of times we have to realize that I told my son, my youngest son, a couple weeks ago, and he's like, well, it's my friend. Give me the definition of a friend, because friend is a little bit different for me,
Come
right?
on, come on, come on, come on, come on,
Understand
come
what
on.
that means, because
Let's
friend,
go there. Let's
friend,
go there.
we throw that word out too loosely, like that's my friend. Really? Is that your friend? Okay. Tell me about your friend, because I need to know about your friend. Because if your friend is not standing in the gap for you and doing the right things with you and have the like mind like you, he's not your friend. He's your associate, and maybe not even your associate. So we have to be really careful with that piece of it. But it's good to see that you have angels around you that are allowing you to walk in your purpose and to be able to do the things that you're doing. So with that being
Can I
said,
share something about that?
sure.
I was at Kroger today, and there was an older Caucasian lady, and she had a dog. Been out the truck going into Kroger. I was getting in my car with my grocery, and I saw her look over. And then I put the stuff in the car. I looked back over at her again, and she said, you look so pretty. I love what you have on. We ended up talking about 15 or 20 minutes, and that was an angel right there. And I told her, and she said I was an angel to her. Angel unawares. I mean, the type of conversation that she had, and she don't know me from China, but she was
Exactly.
talking about things that I've encountered or endured, or I'm like, wow,
Resonated in your
well, thank
spirit.
you.
Yeah, it resonated in your spirit. But like people, I was telling one of my sisters in publishing, I was telling her, when you operate in the right lane, you don't need to solicit for anything. They're going to come to you. So if you do the right thing, it comes. It comes. Just operate in the right lane. It comes to you. And so when you say angels flock to you, because they see you, they see the light on you, they see you are destined for the greatness that you are. And so when they see that light, they want to come to it because they're curious, but they already know. They already know. So, I say, like minds walk in the same circles. We might not come together at the same moment and at the same time, but eventually we meet up. And that light is so blinding that people have to put on shades. So this is one of those encounters that I felt was a must, because I had been writing things down and asking, Lord, please show me what I need to say. And when I got on this conversation, before I sat down, I had butterflies in my stomach. And he says, well, why are you worried? I'm going to give you the words to speak, and it's going to flow like honey.
And it
So
ain't all sticky icky. It's
it ain't.
look,
No,
Dr. C, it's flowing
it's flowing. That's what it's supposed to be. And
like a wave in the ocean.
exactly. It's, the devil is always busy trying to find a way to get in. But again, if you operate in the right lane, you don't have to do anything but drive the car.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got to do. So tell the audience what's next on the agenda for Lady Venessa, and what is her next journey that she's taking outside of these virtual classes? What's next on the horizon for you?
Well, I do a lot. I mean, I wear a lot of hats where, I present. I just don't, have presentation, being invited to speak
Mm-hmm.
at different type of events, graduations, and right now I got some things coming down the pipe that you guys be on the lookout for.
Mm-hmm.
Several projects, but we just finished up a great fashion show that Paul actually was
I
there
saw.
and took photos of, and that was great. So just doing what I do, and we have several grants as well. Cobb County is one of my major grant funders, and looking to go into certain divisions, school divisions,
Mm-hmm.
um, and provide free services around building them up, employing them, having
Mm-hmm.
them take the resources and the classes. It's called the SDP3 Fellows program, where all that I had to do from the bottom up, here I am. I'm about to show you what to do. It's just going to be abbreviated. Ain't going to take that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
we in them. And then not only that, they will, get other opportunities to speak, present, and then it's going to come a point. Then it's time for you to take your wings, and
Uh-huh.
that's what I love about God,
Mm-hmm.
bringing
God,
people in my life,
he's
because
awesome. Totally
he,
awesome.
yeah.
I can't say enough about the goodness of what he has poured into me and gave me the vision to be able to stand in my truth after my stroke and 2 years ago. So I'll tell people, as an author, as a publisher, my platform, this platform is not for me, it's for other people.
Hmm.
It's the vehicle to get you there, and so you too are the vehicle to get people there. And so being able to open up the front door to that car and allowing them to sit in that passenger seat, and then allowing them to understand, as you take this journey, eventually you're going to be in the driver's seat. So allowing people to see what they are capable of doing is so important. And so again, just I'm just eager to see the next steps in your journey, and what this is going to bring for the people of Georgia, and even worldwide. I speak it that it's going to be worldwide, that you're going to touch many more people, not just in Georgia, not in Cobb County, but all over. And so when you stand in that purpose and understand what you're supposed to do and be obedient to what he's telling you to do, then all the doors will open for you. And it's going to rain down nothing but blessings,
Hmm.
nothing but blessings.
Man.
So, we just got to keep allowing ourselves to be able to collaborate and understand there's no competition. We're going to continue. I'm going to put your information on my platform, on my social medias, and making sure that people understand that there's resources in your area. If they didn't know about it, they will
Hmm.
now know it from a North Carolinian standpoint.
Thank
I'm
you
going
so
to
much.
push it out so they
Thank
can see
you.
that as well too. We only 6 hours away when we touch Georgia, so
Hmm.
6 hours
Thank
is
you.
not a long ways. But if I can do whatever I can do on my platform to ensure that people understand that there's resources out here, and there's people that care enough about you, that want to see you heal from your trauma. Don't let your trauma be your tie down. Unleash whatever that is and move forward in what you need to do. And being able to give back. That's important. Being able to give back to other people, to let them see what heal looks like, and be able to continue to move forward.
And
And so
correction, and I'm sorry, correction. What healing? Because I ain't arrived, but what healing? Because that's an action word.
yes.
That's a verb. So
Yeah.
I ain't arrived until I'm up out of there.
Mm, I hear you, sister. I felt that one. I felt that
Yeah,
one. I
yeah, I
felt
ain't arrived.
I felt that. But just to making sure that we are good stewardess over what God has poured into us, because we can't be selfish. Because when we selfish, we're blocking our blessings. So we have to make sure that we're giving it to everybody who wants to hear it. I tell people, you might not know me, but you're gonna know me when I finish. I'm gonna talk to you, talk your ears off, but you're gonna get something out this message. And so I
Hmm.
want people to understand that. So again, tell the audience again your name of your foundation, where they can reach you at, what platforms you're on, so that they can reach out as well.
All right. Again, thank you so much for this time and this opportunity to, have this public service announcement, because that's what it is. It's saving lives. You can reach me at www.sdp3.org, and on there it's a event button that you can register for events, and also a calendar. And if you would like to speak with me in regards to our services, we would love to be able to serve you with knowledge that will impact and change not only the people you touch, but first starting with yourself from the inside out. I'm on social media, so when you go to the website, which again is www.sdp3.org, all my handles are at the top, so you can just click on any one of those. Send me a message. Let's team together and be the voice for the voiceless, and be the stop to the stigma by doing what we can do. Just as Dr. C said earlier, the richest place in the world is the cemetery, because there's so many people that left here didn't even know what a gift was, let alone scratch the surface to operate in their gifts miraculously using God's miracles. So, we are only here on borrowed time, so let's do what we can do while we got time to do it. So it's good being here, but just know you're not alone. You're not alone. I'm in the fight with you. Don't give up. There's also 988, which is the suicide hotline. 988. 988. Let me tell you, when I need to call, I call. If I just need you to listen.
Yeah. And
If I
sometimes
can't find my support, if I can't find my support system.
yeah, because we are still human. We have our moments where we need that support too. We're not always all glammed up and beautiful and all things are peaches and creams. We need help too. We have our moments where we're vulnerable too, but that doesn't take anything away from me. Again, as I said before, there's no reason why we should suffer in silence, but there's so many people that are. And I'm finding that as I do my walk through mental health and speak at different events, I'm finding that more and more men are those ones that are committing suicide because they think it's taking something away from their manhood. No, we need to break that stigma as well too, that men cry and they're entitled to cry, they're entitled to hurt, they're entitled to have a voice and tell people that they hurt. And so don't bog them down with why. Point them in the direction where they need to go to get the help. Yeah. So again, what was the number again, Lady Venessa?
988.
988
is the suicide hotline. Just as they have 911, now they have 988 for the suicide crisis hotline. I was trying to take a picture of this. If I could. Do you mind?
No, go ahead.
1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Awesome. I can send you, at that problem, I can send it to you too.
So the last thing, are you doing anything as far as books are concerned? Since we're now, I think I did look it up. You're at series 5 with the voice behind mental health. Are you planning on doing anything else? Putting anything, these words of encouragement in your virtual? Are you planning on putting those in book forms so people can have those as resources, or do you provide that in your virtual?
Are you talking about my books on my website?
Yeah. So I know you talked about a little bit about the upcoming virtual.
Yeah, those are two different things, but I do funnel people to the site, kind of do a soft introduction. That's mental. I'm dealing with a total different organization, so I got to tread lightly with Fidelity. Fidelity, but I do get a plug. I do plug myself.
Okay.
But those are two different things. Absolutely, because I want to. I'm not in the. I didn't get to this position to keep my mouth shut. That's why our organization is no silence. We can't be silent. No shame. We have been so ashamed. I have been so ashamed, but I'm learning that shame and blame is what kills me. because
Like,
nobody can love me like the one that created me. Nobody. And I've learned that through going through this divorce of 27 years, which was not bad. You know, it is what it is. But just
mm,
learning more about me.
and you love you. I
I'm
told
learning to, yes.
I'm gonna pass this baton to you later, Vanessa. I
Uh-oh.
did. I'm gonna pass this baton to you because I think we need to again that collaboration over competition. I will be releasing a part of this called Love Letter Chronicles. It's called A Love Letter to Ourselves, an anthology of affirmations from around the world. I'm going to be doing book 3, and it's about a love letter. The world doesn't owe us anything. And I'm extending that olive branch to you to put your love letter in there because people need to know your story.
That is
27
awesome.
years of divorce has a love letter attached to it. Has attached to it. And I tell people through writing brings freedom. It brings freedom that nobody else will ever know but you. So in
That's
the
part
midnight
that's
hours,
part of those vices
yes,
that has to be broken by way of getting to the end of ourselves and knowing that we can't do it. This ain't working anymore
yeah, it's not.
because the seasons has changed. So you can't go into summer and it's still autumn.
Yeah, season. It's a new season.
It's a
2024,
new
my
season.
mantra. It's a new season.
I was just listening to that song. It's a new season. I was
Yeah,
just listening to it. I forgot
yeah.
to. Yes,
And we have to understand that it's okay in our season that some people are,
Israel, Israel Newbury.
yes. It's really understanding that in seasons comes changes. And so it doesn't mean that I don't love you and I don't care for you, but you're not a part of the season. It has changed. It's no longer summer. We're moving into fall. And sometimes in fall, what happens? The leaves fall off.
And
We got
things die off, and
and
that's
exactly. And it
spring.
doesn't mean that I don't love you. It's just that piece of the season has come and gone. And it means that we're growing apart. And growing apart doesn't mean that's bad. It means that we have to grow for ourselves and see ourselves. And it's good. And people need to understand that and don't think it's, oh, you just left me. No, it's not that. So I'm extending that to you, Lady Vanessa.
Thank
So
you,
when the
thank
next
you,
the
thank you.
next chronicles come out, I would love for you
Congratulations.
to be a part of that. Definitely be a part of that.
Thank you.
So we're
Congrats.
Oh, you're most welcome, most welcome. We're almost to the end of this interview, and again, thank you so much for taking the time out to uh, just give us your nuggets of wisdom and showing people that there are good people still out in the world who are willing to be the step in, to be the gap for someone else, to be able to extend that olive branch to somebody else when they're hurting. Even though I'm hurting, I know what that pain feels like, but I'm gonna stand in the gap because I love you enough and I know what that pain feels like. So thank you, Queen, for allowing us to see what
Thank
you're
you.
doing in Georgia and how many people you are impacting, not just in Georgia. I said, I still say it. You are going to hit people around the world, and I can see it. So continue to stand in your purpose and what God has asked you to do. Be obedient to His word and allow people to see who you are. That young woman from Gary who stepped out on faith and said, you know what? I might have been traumatized, but I'm not out. I'm not tied down to what I was. This is me now. I am a butterfly. I'm beautiful. I'm bold. This is me. And I'm going to give that to somebody else. So thank you, Queen, for allowing me to bring you on to this conversation tonight. And I know this is not going to be the last one. We're going to talk again. We're going to meet paths again. We're going to see each other face to face eventually. But I thank you for having this conversation tonight. Any parting words before we end?
Absolutely. Again, I want to thank you for having me, this great opportunity. And I wish you all the best as well. And that God pours out blessings that windows you don't even have enough room to receive it because it's going to touch so many other people that you touch. So I definitely put that out there in the atmosphere for God's abundance to come your way, everything that's yours. it's a new season. It's a new season, and
Yes.
we're walking towards our milk and honey, and the milk and honey is real close. It's very close. So, woman to woman, queen to queen. Thank you so much for being who you are and doing what you're doing as well.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
you're very welcome. My parting words is that self discovery is a daily journey. And, in that daily journey, we must get ourselves in position to prosper. I've learned that the prospering comes by way of pain. My organization is Self Discovery, Pain, Positioning, and Purpose Incorporated. Self discovery is knowing who you are not, but yet who you are becoming. And my pain positions me for my purpose. So that comes that what I just said is fully loaded, and it's fully loaded with the work that you have to do internally. It just don't. No, this is years and years of trauma and pain from our childhood that we still don't understand, and we're carrying that burden or that bleeding heart still. And when we're triggered, or when we come up against a red flag, or when we continue to let this man beat on me, or prostitute me, or do those things that we know deep down that's not us. That's when we got to wake up. And that's where my slogan: no silence, no shame, no stigma, no suicide. Ask for help. Ask for help. Ask for help. That means you are so courageous, because you know you can't do it by yourself. People got it twisted, quiet as kept, that if you asking for help, you weak. No, that's a lie, straight from the pit of hell. It takes courage. It takes resilience. It takes being vulnerable. It takes to have at least an iota of hope to know that I don't even know what to do. I got to tap into somebody else's brain outside of my God that He sends me to see what's my next step. What am I saying? I bring that all together to say, to do not get stuck in the stigma of being ashamed, to ask for help. I am in therapy. I will be in therapy. I enjoy my therapy. I will be in it for the rest of my life.
Wow.
I take 2 pills a day, and I'm going to take my medication. And I say to encourage you, if you don't take your medicine, because here's one of the topics that I teach about or talk about or present about is co-occurring disorders, mental illness, and substance misuse. And substance is any alternate thing, whether it's an alcoholic beverage or a drug. So when one of these go, when I'm in an illness, I stop taking my medication. This is a quick scenario, and then we out. When I stop taking my medication, okay, then I'm spazzing out because I can't think straight. And then I begin to drink or begin to dip into substances. And then that becomes something else. And then that becomes something else. And then boom, I'm in jail. I'm locked up. I'm this or I'm that because of the choices that I made in the beginning. Instead of, knowing the difference in right or wrong. I truly believe people know the difference in right or wrong. I know it's evil and bad, good and evil out there, but you know the difference in right or wrong. And I say all of that to say, love yourself enough to give you a chance to get it right. My last leg, this is my last leg in my journey. Baby, I'm going out with a bang. And I'm going to enjoy life. And as I enjoy, I want to be the light to somebody else, that they can step into that light, and we just all enjoy, live, laugh, love. Learning to laugh again is just a kid. I was out skateboarding today from over 40 years.
Wow.
And it was phenomenal. My inner kid. See, stuff like that. Going back to those things that we once liked and loved. Yeah, those are some self-care tips. So, hey, y'all, thank y'all so much. Thank you for your support. Those that already supports us. Paul Posey, oh my gosh, click, boom. Paul, click, boom. You and your giftings, and I'm so excited for where God is taking you as well. So, also want to thank you for introducing me to Dr. C and having me on this show.
Oh. Anytime, Queen, you are welcome to come anytime to spread some knowledge for our people, because we owe that to them. We owe that to give that back to them. We don't want to walk away and knowing we have all these jewels to give to somebody else. So thank you again for gracing this platform on Creative Conversations with Dr. C. And again, this is not our last conversation. So many blessings to you, my queen. I thank you so much for allowing me to be able to take a little bit of your time to spread this knowledge that people probably didn't know existed, but you're out here. So thank you so much. Well, we're at the end of this beautiful, beautiful conversation. And again, make sure you go out and visit Lady Venessa's webpage, is it sdp3.org? Please make sure you go out and visit what she has to offer. I can guarantee you that you will be blessed with that information that you're going to get through her angels along with her. So we're going to bring this to an end. But again, thank you, Queen, for allowing us to be able to hear your story. So we're going to say good night, and we'll see you again on Creative Conversations in a couple weeks. Take care. Be blessed.